Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video, and if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and put repeat question and get moves at the top. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I just like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision, and I have been in the hobby for almost 30 years, so I've been here forever, which 99.9% of the PokeTubers cannot say. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor, and that is METATCG. If you guys got some bulk laying around, which we both know that you do, you might as well trade it in for some super rare cards or cash, and you get even more if you trade it in for store credit. They're located in Arlington, Texas. And they make it so easy to do the Pokemon bulk submission. You just literally put exactly how many cards you have. They all have to be near mint, and they even have a video showing you how to package up everything. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. And of course, you guys want to try out tag grading for your first time, click the link, use the code BEARD102. You get 10% off your first submission. And same thing with PSA. Click the link, use the code BEARD25, you get $25 off your first submission, and you just got to use a new email for that every time. And if you guys could download the FANATICS Select app, you guys can watch my Market Monday and Flying Friday hours before I post it on YouTube, and we do a giveaway every single video, and I'm actually live in the chat. It's a ton of fun, so definitely check that out. All right, first question. This is from @HyperSmooth. When will the summer sale end? So from what I've noticed is normally it's, mid-September, because you got to think a lot of parents have so much money to spend on school supplies and school clothes towards that end of the summer, those first couple weeks. So yeah, I've always noticed it being, kind of middle September, maybe towards the end. And I noticed some stuff starting to bounce back quite a bit. So we have the Charizard EX here. It's at $491, now sitting around $364. And then we also have the Destin Rivals ETB, was at $207, now sitting around $123. So all the big modern cards and a lot of the modern products are dropping, which does happen every summer, but this summer slump is definitely way bigger than the last summer slump. And the reason why I think that happened, well, we got 3 not so good sets in a row, which I've been saying that the whole time. That can definitely bring the market down. Plus, we have so many other TCGs popping off right now compared to like last summer, basically just Pokemon. Now, every TCG is kind of popping off. I did hear some One Piece is starting to retrace, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, there's just so many options now to where you don't have to pick up Pokemon just to make money. People are picking up One Piece, Lorcana, all this stuff. So in my opinion, that's the reason why this summer slump has been a little bit more rough than last year's summer slump. But yeah, we don't have too much longer to go, but another month. Next is from @Darren Byham. Hey Beard, watching from the UK and love the vibes. What do you think about Black Bolt and White Flare Japanese art rares and an investment? I have the Oshawott and the PSA 10 in Japanese, low pop and Sword of Pole. Do you think these are worth picking up? So they're actually a lot easier to grade in Japanese than they are in English. English, the Black Bolt and White Flare illustration rares are probably some of the rarest and most difficult cards to grade in the entire era. Like even more difficult than like Pokemon Center ETBs and all the promos. We got the Snivy here from Black Bolt in Japanese. Pop is 1285 in a 10, 81 in a 9. So very, very easy to grade. I'm sure they'll still do decent, but I think the English ones are a way better pickup. But right, next is from @Mr. Collects. Hi Beard, the Gengar 151 Cosmos Holo, the Sam's Club exclusive. Do you think it will be as big as Triumphant Gengar? PSA 10 goes for at least $1,200. Do you think it's a good hold for long term? So the pop is crazy low on this card. I think it's like 100 in a PSA 10 and like, 1,000 in a PSA 9. But a PSA 10 sitting right around $1,200, $1,300. I think that's kind of crazy for just, a regular holo card that we got in a box. But with that low of a pop, the art is crazy and it is Gengar. I think this card does have crazy potential. Especially with the low pop stuff going on right now, you might just want to hold on to it just in case. You never know. We're getting some crazy, crazy sales that literally make 0 cents, but just because the pop is super low and, the card is worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So you might just want to hold on to it. It's got a few things going for it. Next is from @Big Earcade. Hey Beard, I've got some cash. I was thinking about buying a lot of Destin Rivals ETBs for about 120 to 125. Do you think it's a good pickup while they're low, or do I buy prismatic ETBs at like 160? I think Destin Rival ETB at 120, not bad. We checked the 6 months. This ETB was at $276. It's the best set in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. It has crazy nostalgia with the Team Rocket, and I still think it's the best looking ETB. But yeah, it's the best booster box mainline set in my opinion. Yeah, from 276 down to 120, not a bad pickup in my opinion. We got to buy these dips. Especially, it's not going to take too much for this market to bounce back. Like, I could single-handedly make a lot of these cards and boxes go back up in price if I really wanted to. You just honestly have to buy out a bunch of cards, relist them for more. So I think there's going to be people in the hobby that are not going to let a lot of this stuff like actually crash. But yeah, I love the Destin Rivals ETB at 120. A lot more than the Prismatic at 160. Next is from Matt Tanner. Hey Beard, can you explain what's been going on with the Japanese vintage Team Rocket packs? Their prices keep fluctuating around 1K to 800, quickly dropping and rising. Is it going to settle anytime soon? I would imagine it's due to people ripping more vintage sets, but I haven't done enough research to notice the same trends in other vintage packs. Anyways, I'm curious because I bought this pack last year for $450 and wanted another one, but all of a sudden they went way up. Will it go back down under $800? So it's very normal for vintage packs to have sales for the exact same pack from, $700 to $1,000 because it really, really depends on the quality of the pack. That can make, a $100, $200 difference for sure. I can't see this pack going back down to $450. Maybe I could see it drop down to like $750, but I had a feeling this pack was pretty undervalued at $450. So I think it's going to stay pretty strong at those prices. Next is from at 3D Print Parrot. Thanks for all the help over the years. I am working on a master set of the Mega Attackers from Ascended and all PSA 10s, the 7 from Ascended Heroes, UPC promo, and 2 poster collection promos. Do you think they will age well? Is now the best time to pick up the Gengar and Dragonite? They have come down and I would like to time it in the low, thanks. So they're not that difficult to grade. That's probably the only thing that's not going for you, but I actually really like that collection. Like collection-wise, that's super fun. I like when people have a focused collection, and there's not that many attack rares yet, so, you're not that far behind. And the Gengar and Dragonite are still dropping a little bit. Maybe watch them just a little bit longer. You might be able to save yourself a little bit of money. But, yeah, I actually really, really like that collection. I think that's going to be sick. And I do think they will do good over time. I just wish they were a little bit tougher to grade. Next is from at Hyper Smooth. What to do when you want to build a steel collection but also want to rip packs? I'm able to get most stuff at MSRP and some a little over MSRP under market. Thanks. So that's why I like to get doubles and triples of stuff. And definitely just hold on to, booster boxes, maybe ETBs, Pokemon Center ETBs, booster bundles. And then you can open up like, some of the not so good collection boxes. Maybe they don't have the best promo, stuff like that. That's the stuff you can rip open. Otherwise, if you have anything that's dented or torn, I usually rip that stuff open too. I kind of feel like it's a sign. I've actually gotten very lucky too. Pulled some massive cards doing that. Or even, finding some sleeve boosters and just treating yourself with some sleeve boosters every once in a while. But just try not to open up those booster boxes and those Pokemon Center ETBs and the UPCs. You might as well just hold on to them. Especially a lot of times, they're so expensive. And, a lot of times you're not going to get a big hit or, too many hits at all. Next is from at Koustis Cards. Hey, Beard, love the content. Have you given any thoughts on going to shows in Michigan? So I've been getting hit up from shows all over basically the world right now. It's kind of crazy. And I have not been hit up by anyone in Michigan that throws shows. So if you know anybody in Michigan, would love to come to Michigan. It's super close by. And I've actually never even been to Michigan. Next is from at Sterling Vaughn. With the constant revolving door of a new hype set every 2 months, do you feel the general community will eventually get overstimulated and burnt out of ultra modern and start moving towards more vintage? So definitely some will move to vintage, but in my opinion, the majority will just leave the hobby. I'm not even kidding. I have talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were the biggest Pokemon fans ever, and then, the market cools off a little bit, and then they're doing something else. So even right now, you could be watching this, and you could be obsessed with Pokemon, and a year from now, you might not even be collecting. You might sell your whole collection, something might come up, you just never know. But if people get super frustrated with modern, and they're not big fans of vintage, which is a lot of people, a lot of times they just leave the hobby. So it's kind of crazy. Next is from at Awesome Frog. Appreciate your insight. Do you think the legend cards are undervalued? I do. They're going up right now, but I still think those should be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I think the PSA 10 should actually be some of the rarest PSA 10s out there because the cards are super difficult to grade. And we just got new legend cards in the Rayquaza set. Not of Pokemon, but still, it counts in my opinion. And I'm definitely going to get them for my legend collection because I think the cards are just honestly one of a kind. The art is top tier. Like it feels like actual art to me. Next is from at Jonah Garrett. Thanks for the awesome content. I just recently started collecting for the beautiful artworks and to have something to do with my kids. Haven't really been buying packs as I feel like I can just buy a card. My kid saves a little money that way. My hope is that when they are my age, the cards will be valued pretty well. Any advice? So yeah, just try to buy really clean copies that could potentially grade in a PSA 10. That will always help you get value in the future if you do plan on, grading them and selling them. And then just try to pick up some undervalued cards. Don't buy cards at their absolute all-time highs. You know, some good cards, in my opinion, that are just super undervalued. The Charizard V and the Charizard V Max promos from the Sword and Shield UPC. They're actually super difficult to grade too. So you can find a couple clean raw copies. Great cards to hold on to. You know, stuff like that. And yeah, I think you'll have a nice little collection for your kids in the future. Next is from Team Charlie. Do you believe the metal cards are the dopest promos ever? If I could have a bunch of PSA 10s of any cards, it would be a grip of each of them. Thoughts? So I'm actually probably one of the biggest fans when it comes to metal cards, especially out of all the PokeTubers. I've talked about them a ton. But I'm actually a really big fan of having them raw, because there's nothing better than taking a metal card out, feeling that texture, feeling how heavy it is. So I'm actually a big fan of raw metal cards, but I know in PSA 10s, they are super tough to get. But yeah, I'm a massive fan, and I think they're completely slept on. Like, I think the metal Charizard and Pikachu should be worth way more than what they're worth right now. Next is from Timmy Timmy. I have a Chilling Reign booster box. I was thinking about trying to sell it and get a Destined Rivals booster box with the money. What do you think? I think I'd be okay with that. We technically could still get a Destined Rivals booster box reprint, but set-wise, Destined Rivals technically blows Chilling Reign out of the water when it comes to popularity because of the nostalgia, and it came out during a way bigger boom than Chilling Reign came out. So a lot more people are going to remember Destined Rivals over Chilling Reign. And I love Chilling Reign. The only bad thing about Chilling Reign is it's kind of a DLC set. So a lot of the Pokemon, you know, you got Galarian versions and stuff like that. It's the only thing that is wrong with Chilling Reign. Otherwise, the set is just stacked. All right, next is from Essential Kilo. I know you said you don't think master sets are worth completing. However, what are your thoughts on mastering the 30th celebrations? I feel like this one might actually be a fun and smart investment play long-term too. The fact that the Pikachus also have texture and you're guaranteed one in every pack makes me feel like a master set of this might not be a bad idea to have. So yeah, 100%, this is going to be a great set to master set. I will be master setting just like I did the 25th anniversary, the 20th anniversary, and, you know, Crown Zenith. There's some sets out there that are just absolutely insane with really good pull rates that are actually super fun to master set and actually make sense. But the main reason why I don't, you know, tell people to do master sets for everything is because the majority of people, probably 99% of the people, can't keep up with how many sets come out. And, you know, you start a master set here, then the next set comes out, you start that one, and then eventually you got 10 binders with maybe one master set complete, and then you get bored of the hobby, and then you sell all your binders and your collections to me. Because I've done that thousands and thousands of times. And when you're buying, you know, all these random cards for these master sets, you're spending money on cards you might not like that much just to complete the master set. But with the 30th anniversary, I mean, every card is just crazy. All those Pikachus are beautiful. Definitely going to master set this. But all right, last question is from Stevie Apex. So you've probably already answered this, but I forgot which video it was in. I know you prefer a zip binder over a top loader zip binder. Just wondering how come. I have some of my collection in a top loader binder, but thinking of putting them to a regular VAULTX zip binder. So the only reason why I like a regular binder over a top loader binder is because it's just so much lighter and easier to carry and travel with. Because I go to shows all over, basically, you know, every couple of weekends, and I see so many dads, moms, kids just struggling to lug around their giant top loader binders, and they're just way heavier. And then a lot of times too, when you open them up, there's like basic EXs in there. A lot of times it's just completely overkill. But if you do have a beautiful collection that is already done, definitely top loader binders are great, because then you can, you know, it's just a little bit of extra security, but that way it's done, so you're not traveling to shows with it. So that is 100% the only reason why I like a regular binder over a top loader binder. And another thing too, when you guys are bringing these kids or your kids or like your cousins or whatever it is to these shows, make sure they have a trade binder. Because I do trades all day long, because I do trades at 100% for kids, so people love trading with me. And the amount of times I have to be like, so is anything available, you know, in your binder for trade? And they're like, not that, not that. And it just makes the whole thing way longer. But if they had their own little, you know, just a small little 4-pocket trade binder or cell binder, it makes it so much easier. So definitely do that if you guys are going to card shows with kids. And then that way, you know, a kid might sell a card that he maybe didn't want to sell just because of the pressure of the show and everything like that. So it's definitely much smarter. But all right, that was this week's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys like this content, want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like and comment. If you guys want to support more, check out my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that. You guys know what to do. You guys are the absolute best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to click my last Market Monday, you can click the video above. Otherwise, if you guys want to watch any of my other vending videos, I have an entire playlist above also. But all right, we'll see you next time.